Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of She-Hulk. Now, for those of you who haven't seen it, pause the video, and once you watch it, come on back. Now, for those of you who have seen it, let's get ready to talk about it. So we get introduced to a brand new character, one old character and one new character. So, first things first, we have Leapfrog, who is supposedly some vigilante, who really is not, let's be honest. Lights his legs on fire and wants to sue the superhero suit maker that gave She-Hulk all her stuff, because he gave him faulty equipment. So this guy's basically a joke. He literally is Leapfrog. He uses these jet propelled boot rockets that help him kind of jump into the air and fly. He's really a joke. So she then goes to talk to the guy and tries to resolve this peacefully. Well, the designer is not thrilled and basically shuns her out right away and rips her dress apart for her little gala and is like, "You're not getting anything from me because you betrayed me. You stabbed me in the back." So she decides to go against him legally. So they take him to court, and his lawyer comes in, and his lawyer is none other than Matt Murdock. Now, for those of you who don't know who Matt Murdock is, well, you figured it out in that episode, and if you haven't seen it and you don't know who Matt Murdock is, I don't know why you're watching this video. But, that being said, he is Daredevil. Now, we saw his suit in the last episode, and now we see him in there defending his client. So during the courtroom, they are arguing and having a legal banter that the two of them are very much against each other. Come to find out that the Leapfrog had used jet fuel, which is not supposed to be used in the manufacturing notes because it would literally burn through everything. And Matt Murdock can smell it because of his abilities and states that it was jet fuel, and because of that, his client, the designer, was not at fault for the issues at hand. So there is no legal precedent for the case to even exist anymore because the guy failed to do what he was told to do. Well, the judge agreed, and the judge decided the case would be thrown out. So She-Hulk loses. She's at the bar. Matt Murdock buys her a drink. They start talking. They're hitting it off. They're looking like they're getting together. And he gets a phone call stating that he needs to go. And then she gets a phone call about that creepy guy that likes She-Hulk, but likes it as a fetish. It's kind of weird. So Matt Murdock leaves, even though she wanted to have another drink with him. He said he had to go, and then she decided to go. She decided to go and deal with the creepy guy. So when she goes to see the creepy guy, he really wants her, and she does not want him. And he's flaunting his money about buying this Wakandan spear, and now he's trying to have somebody take it away from him because it was stolen from colonizers, and he should be able to keep it because he bought it fair and square, and that's why he asked her. And she doesn't really care, first off, and second, he's then trying to get her to drink and flirt. And she shoves the table into him and bills him for the hour and says, "I'm out." And she gets a phone call from Leapfrog saying somebody's attacking him. So she puts on her super suit and goes after him, right? So she gets to where Leapfrog is, and Daredevil is trying to break into his car. So her and Daredevil fight, and it is we get to see new skills from Daredevil. So he's doing a lot of flips, jumps, all this other stuff. So he's much more agile, much better fighting style. Now, I assume that has to do with the fact that it's the MCU, and he's going to need it to stand out or against all the others. But that being said, it's still super cool. So anyway, She-Hulk claps her hands, makes a shockwave, and really messes with Daredevil, takes off his helmet, and realizes it's Matt Murdock. So he puts the helmet back on and everything else, and he explains to her that he is deaf. He is blind, sorry, not deaf, although he might be deaf after the hand clapping. And he explains to her that Leapfrog had actually kidnapped the designer. And she's like, oh. The two of them go to Leapfrog's lily pad. I can't make this up, which is literally like a henchman, like villain lair, and they're going to break in to save him. So Daredevil basically says, "I'll take care of this" because he's sneaky, and he shows off his skills and starts taking out these guys very brutally. Right now, more show up because he's unable to stop one of them from calling for backup. She-Hulk breaks in, knocks them all out, and she goes, "Oops, I guess that was easy." And they go in and try to stop Leapfrog. Now she lets the designer go, and she explains to her client that, hey, you're in a lot of legal trouble right now, and you're going to get yourself into huge trouble. He does not listen. He tries to escape, falls out of a window, I'm assuming breaks his legs, and he gets taken away in an ambulance. So she's dealing with the cops and everything else, and Daredevil is nowhere to be found. So anyway, she goes on top of the building, and Daredevil's there, and she's talking to him, basically stating, like, hey, aren't you going to give your statement to the cops? He's like, that's not something I do. I've never done it. And he explains that he's only going to be around for the night, and she takes him back to her place, and they get it on. Like, very much so. So they do the nasty, and then the next day he takes the walk of shame, walking out of her place without his boots on, which I find hilarious, but he's got everything else on, walking away. And then we go to the gala. So at the gala, she's, in this wonderful dress that's made by the designer. Everything's going well, blah, 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 blah. And it turns out all the women are getting Female Lawyer of the Year, which is weird. And when it becomes She-Hulk's turn to speak, she's trying to thank her family and everything else. There's an interruption on the screen and talking about how she's fake and she doesn't deserve any recognition whatsoever. And in fact, they show a tape of her having sex with Jacob. I think his name was Jacob. Or no, was it Josh? Josh or Jacob? It was a J. You know who I'm talking about. So anyway, it was filmed and posted right in front of everyone. She-Hulk is really mad, destroys the property, starts to go after the ones who did it, and when she breaks out of there, there are these armored men with guns pointed at her, very much looking like damage control, but we don't know that for a fact, and that's how the episode ends. So we have one episode left, and we're definitely going to see some sort of big climax theme, obviously. So this last episode, we're going to be seeing something, whether it's legal action against her for destruction of property and everything else, or it's going to be a big fight where we actually get to see who was responsible for this all along. Now, I'm still thinking that it's going to be the leader who's in control of everything, but we're not actually going to see him. These are all his lackeys dealing with this. But we're going to have to wait and see to know for sure. Other than that, I don't think she's going to have like an actual big fight. But we'll have to wait and see. I can't think of anybody unless it's Absorbing Man and Titania, like the two of them against her. But even then, I'm kind of like I'm not positive. Although I still think that Josh or Jacob, whatever his name is actually the Absorbing Man, but I'm not positive on that. Or maybe he becomes the Absorbing Man. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys thought about this video, this episode in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? You all know the drill. And as always, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.